Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TGS or Sidebar. We're doing things a little bit different.
Yes,
a little bit. Now, you're probably wondering, where the hell's Sidebar been? Well, it's been on a on-again, off-again hiatus because we are currently missing our third a lot. We've kind of not wanted to do Sidebar without him. But it's kind of gotten to the point where, you know, we're kind of almost essentially 40 episodes behind by the time we get done with this. So it's either continue to wait until Arc 5 is apparently done to do all of Arc 5, or we play a little bit of catch up and we just start doing it bi-weekly with just the two of us. You can probably guess what the latter will be, or what the answer is. I bet.
Yeah.
So, Arc 5 is approaching its 100th episode, and we'll be getting there in like the next 3 weeks from when we're recording this, I believe. So we're on like 96, I think.
So, the 100th episode will probably be like coming out the week that this comes out, or the week after.
It comes out this weekend. It is 96.
The 100th.
Oh, 100th? It comes out...
This is going out beginning of April?
Oh, there'll be episode 99. Episode 100 will be the next week. And then apparently they're listening. Yeah, apparently they're listening at that is like episode 3? Or season 3 is 100 onward.
Well then.
So apparently we're just doing it by 50s. Which works because episode 100 actually technically starts the next arc of the show. So yeah, we're essentially going to be playing catch up. We're going to be covering 5 episodes at a time, not actually watching them, just talking about them as one of us has at least watched them beforehand. The other one will be trying to recall all of this from memory. You can guess who on those roles. I'll be having the wiki to help me remember shit. And we'll be doing these for the next 6, 7 weeks in order to be finally caught back up to Arc 5, and then we can start doing this bi-weekly and actually have a more current opinion on Arc 5. Well, at least 2 of us will have a more current opinion of Arc 5.
Yeah.
So, let's hit the recap button and catch up on where the fuck we've been in Arc 5 since whenever the fuck was the last time we recorded Arc 5. It's about that question I had and I was talking about when I was recording Radiant Dawn today of like, when was the last time I actually was able to sit down and fucking record this game? Oh right, it was probably when Drive was still on. Oh, it's gonna be so weird when people see those episodes, see that huge gap in like things I'm talking about. Because I'm not restarting the game now. Now we're too far in. I'm doing this. I'm still doing it. Anyway, so to lay the groundwork, we're still in the synchro dimension. The Lancers are currently split up because Reggie is an idiot. At least I think Reggie's an idiot.
I think Reggie did it on purpose.
I have to think he did it on purpose, considering how the group was split. And I think in a recent episode, there's a slight hint of that from Sawatari. Some dialogue from Sawatari. And something he says, I'm like, oh, are you kind of like telegraphing the beginning of this arc with this statement? But anyway. Yuya, Selena, Reira, and Sawatari are currently in the home of Crow and the kids he's looking after. Shun, Noboru, and Dennis are currently in an underground writing duel arena. Or an underground D-wheeling arena, where Shun and Dennis are in the middle of a duel, as we're picking up on this recap. And Noboru is just kind of standing there with the announcer guy, who I can't remember the name of at the moment. That he'll be important at some point.
Later.
Yes. and Yuzu and Yugo are somewhere in the city trying to not get caught.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Reggie and Tsukikage are somewhere. We don't know where.
They're somewhere, but by the end of this little stretch here, we find out that he was at least somewhere relatively close.
Yes. So let's kick off this recap, as we're going to be covering 5 episodes at a time, with episode 59, Underground Writing Duel, as we pick up with the duel between Dennis and Shun. To essentially close out that part, we don't get to see the end of this duel.
Yeah.
Shun also is a bit suspicious of Dennis because, let's face it, he kind of knows everyone in the Lancer group. And like, I'll say this, like, from Reggie's perspective, think about the Lancer group and how it's made up. He knows everyone in this group, except for one person, and that's fucking Dennis. And considering Dennis has been a bit suspicious all the time, it's a little hard to not go, someone's got him pegged. They're just not saying anything, just to see where this goes.
You know what the dumb thing could be?
What?
Reggie knows darn good and well, but he figures the best way to get the other dimensions to partner with him is to kind of force the invasion.
Well...
You see what I'm saying?
I know. We'll get there. Let's just say there's a lot of dumb decisions made on Reggie's part, possibly. So we don't get to see the end of this duel because Roger essentially calls in security and is like, yo, break this up. Also, arrest those people who are not from here. Don't arrest the tops because I'm biased as fuck.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's set up to where Shun possibly would have won the duel, I believe. He had Revolution Falcon out by the end of the duel, which is his current ace in the hole. Or his current ace, so... Meanwhile, off with the group of Lancers who are deciding what the fuck to do, Selena is done sitting around and doing crap and all, and she decides, I'm gonna go do something, and storms out. Saratari follows her because Saratari's an idiot.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Yuya is stuck babysitting Reira, and him and Crow get in an ideological fight of some sorts. I don't remember because I didn't care.
I remember what it was. I had to think about it for a second and reread that.
Okay.
Crow was saying the best way to put a smile on someone's face is with food, and Yuya was saying with entertainment, and that kind of caused that duel.
The battle of the Iago method. Okay. So, yeah, that's where this goes. And this essentially leads to a duel! Or at least the start of a duel. Until security breaks this one up.
We just don't get the finishes of any duels.
We got the finish of one duel, which is Selena versus some schmuck. Also, the entire reason security found them is fucking Selena and Saratari, I think.
Yep.
So, essentially, security breaks up the duel, arrest everyone except Reira, who is whisked away by Tsukikage, and also the kids run away at this point as well. Or no, they're ignored by the cops. And, also, Kuro's friend, what's the shithead's name?
I don't.
What is this shithead's name that's gonna cause all the fucking trouble soon? Because he has absolutely no idea what the... Shinji! That's his name! Shinji! That shithead! Shinji Weber, who's a friend of Kuro. He's a shitlord. You'll find out why soon.
Huh.
I'll put it this way. He believes that things need to be done one way, and he's a dumbass and doesn't listen to anybody.
Huh.
Yep. So, this takes us to episode 60, No Cards, No Pardon, where everyone's thrown in the prison. Selena is separated because she's the only girl of the group, and John wants to personally interrogate her. Whereas the rest of the Lancers, plus Crow and Shinji, are essentially thrown in the lot of them in prison, and Shin'an agrees to sue. Oh, by the way, Shin's in solitary confinement because of fucking course Shin's in solitary confinement. Of course, the first day they got there, he fucking ripped somebody apart.
Well, duh.
Also, Noboru and Yuya had a nice little tearful reunion because they haven't seen each other since they fucking left. Like, yeah, episode 53, I believe, was the last time they saw each other.
I think.
This has been like 17 episodes since then. Don't worry, the separation between Yuya and Yuzu is only going to grow stronger from here on out. Trust me. Just keep a reminder in the back of your head the last time they've actually like had a long-standing conversation with each other. Don't worry, that gap will be stupidly large. It's also quite annoying because, as confirmed by by spoilers, but okay, as confirmed, starting next arc, they're still separated. Ugh. Anyway, essentially, we find out about this system in place where this guy named Choidro Tokumatsu, or Cho, I want to call him for simplicity's sake, is essentially running the damn joint and is collecting everyone's cards as bribes to actually get something out of this fucking place. And Yuya has enough of this guy's bullshit and just starts a duel with him. Am I missing anything from this episode?
No, I don't think so, actually.
Also, Cho has a card that pretty much negates Yuya's pendulum something, which is no cheaters allowed.
Yeah.
So Yuya's once more fighting an uphill battle because counter pendulum shit. So that takes us to episode 61, where we continue this duel. Then Yuya eventually breaks the all this Cardian crap combo and finishes it with Odd Eyes.
Because always Odd Eyes.
And it turns out to be kind of a nice guy. He used to be like a pro duelist before he got essentially sent to prison because he lost in the Fortune Cup. By the way, that will be important soon. We'll get to the Fortune Cup.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cho's kind of a nice guy now, and the Lancers have another ally in the Synchro Dimension. And I guess we're just going to move on from there to 62! Great Entertainment Duel Tournament! Where the team essentially enacts their plan to get the fuck out of here. That's the best we can said. We start with a three-way... We essentially, like, build up this whole, like... Crow and Shinji are going to do their own way of getting out of here, and Yuya and the rest are going to do their own way out of here, but they're all going to escape at the same time because that's the plan. And essentially, Yuya, Saotari, and Cho use the cover of a duel, or use the duel as cover to get out. So all the Lancers are in the process of escaping by the end of this episode. So, essentially, we have another duel that doesn't end. We've only had one complete duel out of 4 in the last 4 episodes. That's telling. Anything important since the wiki recap is a bit on the thin side? I don't think there is, to be honest.
No, I don't think there is, actually.
Yeah. Chose 2 goons, essentially, help cover them and are arrested in the process, so we're not going to worry about them for a while. Then we get to King of Captors, Goyo King, which will be the last episode recap, where everything goes to hell and they get arrested. Essentially, the Lancers have to face off against the... what the fuck are they called? Some special task force of arresting breakouts. Saratari tries to take on all 3 of them alone. That doesn't work. Yuya hops in, takes damage, tries to help. Noboru and Shun hop in. Shun mops the floor with a lot of them, but they're arrested by the end of the episode. And they're almost taken back by Roger, or by Jean, except the council interferes, and they're taken to the council. And here we find out where the fuck Reggie's been this entire fucking time. He's been hanging out with these assholes. The entire time. Apparently. And you know what he's going to continue to do for the next, till the end of this arc, pretty much? Hang out with these shitheads and do nothing. Yeah. That's our leader of the Lancers right there, I tell you what. So yeah, that's essentially the last 5 episodes. I've just summed up in less time it would take for us to watch the 5 episodes. Miss anything in 63? I don't feel like I did. Hello? 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 You got really quiet on me.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, did I miss anything in 63? Besides a whole bunch of Goyo monsters that show up and will probably never be used that much again. Except for one guy.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, that will take us pretty much into the Fortune Cup arc. Or the Fortune Cup arc of this part. As from here on out, not Fortune Cup, the Friendship Cup. My bad, it's not the Fortune Cup, it's the Friendship Cup. The Fortune Cup's in 5Ds. This is the Friendship Cup in Arc 5, because they're totally supposed to be separate. It's like neither one of these tournaments are rigged. At all. But yeah, just to explain, because I think it's explained to this point with the Friendship Cup, they'll all be competing in the Friendship Cup to kind of prove their worthiness as or their worthiness. And if you lose, you are sent to an underground recycling facility forever. And they will in fact be competing against each other. Well, some of them are. The Friendship Cup kind of gets shuffled around every round on who's fighting who, eventually. Kind of. It's not made very clear out of the gate who will be facing who until we literally get to the episode. Until, like, essentially, like, the numbers are narrowed down so much that it's kind of impossible to not tell who's going to be facing who. But yeah, I guess next episode, it'll be Yuya versus Jack in the... Not the opening match of the Fortune Cup, not the actual official match, but more of an exhibition where Jack will get to strut his stuff for the first time since 5Ds. And a duel against Yuya, and yeah, you can imagine how this will go. Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist Veteran versus Rookie. Yeah, Yuya's not winning this. But yeah, any thoughts on a lot of the stuff that's happened?
No,
Yeah. When I mean like everyone's competing for ship, I mean like everyone who was essentially arrested, including quote-unquote Rhaera, as he's counted as a Lancer, but don't worry, Rhaera's not actually competing in this tournament. Also, Yugo and Yuzu are competing in this tournament because they applied to be in there, which there is a hilarious moment as you see their applications, and John sees them as well. It's just like, you guys could take a lower profile. But Yuzu's trying real hard to help. So yeah, in the next 5 episodes, this 5-episode quick recap, we'll be looking at Yuya versus Jack, the aftermath of Yuya versus Jack, the opening match, which, spoilers, will be Crow versus Noboru. And yes, these will all be on D-wheels, so everyone gets to ride a D-wheel. And I assume you're going to be very questioning on this autopilot by the end of this. Because there's a very questionable use of autopilot in these duels. We get the setup for Rhaera versus Shinji, but that's not happening. And we get an entire episode explaining all the shit that's going to happen. And finally, we get the proper duel, which will actually be Tsuchikage versus Shinji. So, yeah. That's the next 5-episode recap you have to look forward to. Anything to say before we close out on this? This is probably going to be stupidly quick.
Really stupidly quick. And no, honestly.
Well, it doesn't help that, like, I can recap these 5 episodes far quicker than we actually sit down and watch them.
Good point.
And it's not helping, like, to be all honest, a lot doesn't happen until we actually start into the arc, into the Friendship Cup. And it also kind of takes a while for the Friendship Cup to take off because not a lot of the early duels are going to be that big. I mean, to be honest, it's going to take till... I would say 69. With Yuzu's duel for us to finally start taking off. 68 will show us how much Shinji is a shithead and stupid. And then like 69 onward to, what is it, 73 gives us Yuzu, Yuya, and Yugo all dueling their respective opponents. And then like 70, then the next batch of 5, which is 74 through, what was it, 79, is when like some big shit happens. Because that is, spoilers, or no, I won't spoil that too early. Let's just say, that is the batch of 5 episodes you want to watch. Because those are like the big 3 duels for this arc so far, I feel like. But yeah, I guess until the next recap, catch-up episode of Arc 5 here on TGSR Sidebar, they'll do it for Tommy and me. Peace. And we'll see y'all in the next round.